My name is Bryon Neal Daniels. I'm the owner of Greenhouse Coffee and Plants here in Corvallis, Oregon. I opened this business. It's a full-service coffee bar, but also a retail houseplant store. So we sell a range of houseplants as well as like coffees, lattes, mochas, and some like local art and just like little pots and knickknacks and trinkets. My background is in business. I've been self-employed my entire life. Before this, I was in marketing and photo, video, and social media content. I ran a lot of Instagram accounts and stuff for other businesses, and eventually got to a point where like I was a little burnt out on doing that for other people, and just loved the idea of having a like brick and mortar place where people would come to me. Like I could just have the doors open and customers would come in, and I no longer had to go chase clients and invoices and contracts. And the goal was honestly that this would be a short-term thing for me, and I would kind of hang out, work here for a few months, and then pass it off, have someone to manage it and take it over. And within a couple months of being a barista, I was like, this is the coolest, easiest thing I've ever done, and I should have done it a long time ago. Just like the most fun I've ever had doing a job, and I've had a lot of very cool jobs. And so I essentially transitioned out of doing marketing, and I'm now a retired photographer. And I do this full time now, and I've been working on like expansions and growing the business, and it started from a pretty small concept of like quick limited coffee menu and houseplants, and has evolved into just kind of what it is now, an ever changing offering of a bunch of different things. Greenhouse is a project of mine where it was a partnership, some friends of mine who are also part owners in this, who specialize in like design and build, and all of us have a really good like eye for things coming together. And so my goal for this, with my marketing background and being into like photography and video and social media, was that this would be not only just a great shop and a good place to get coffee and stuff, but it's also, you know, that like Instagram spot. Like I want people to come through, and I want them to hit every single little photo stop, and like it's like a scavenger hunt in here of like, oh yeah, you go over here, and then there's the mirror, you take your mirror selfie there, and then there's the wallpaper, you've got to get that one, and then there's the yellow chairs in front of the blue wall, and it's a whole thing all the way through, even until you get to the bathroom, which is its own little jungle with its own song that plays on repeat. And so it's the special unique thing about this is just like making an experience outside of it just being a place to go and hang out and visit and show your friends, but it's something where you can always find like little new things, whether it's like looking in the drawers and finding like our little secret notebooks and the secret menu that is literally in a folder labeled secret menu. Just there's just a lot of layers to it, and so that's something that's really like unique to here. What is the best part of being a small business owner? Well, it's not making your own hours. For me, like I enjoy the independence of like owning your own business, and there's a certain amount of like definitely like pride that comes with it, of having a place that you're proud of and that you like love going into and showing off to people. But I think relationships is like the coolest thing. Like I love the people that come in daily, and we get regulars, and especially being in a college town, our clientele shifts, and we get a lot of new people coming in, we get their parents coming in, family from out of town, and it's just cool like having people come in and asking what they're up to today, where they're from, what they're doing in town, and getting to share a little bit about like Corvallis with them. Like we are everyone's first stop, and so it's cool that we get to kind of curate their trip through town and be like, well, you've got to go to Taco Vino, and you've got to check out Brass Monkey and Corazon, and like tell them all the places that we love about this town. What is your top piece of advice for small business owners just starting out? That's kind of a tricky one. Like I want to say that the answer is to just do it, like put yourself out there and try and go for it, because a lot of the times that's the biggest hurdle, is just trying. And a lot of people stop right there at the fear of trying and failing. But like you will never figure out if you can, and you'll never know if it's a possibility until you actually like put some things in motion. Especially like today, there's so much information available on the internet. There's like nothing stopping anyone from becoming a photographer or learning how to make coffee or learning how to do pottery. Like there's just endless amounts of information. Anyone can learn to do anything as long as you have the confidence to try it. Have you heard about Merchant Maverick? No, until I got an email and then I looked at the website and did a mild amount of research. What's one challenge you are facing and how can the community help? I think we're at like a unique situation where we don't face a ton of challenges. Like knock on wood, it's been kind of easy. The like biggest hurdles I'm having right now, I guess, is like we've got a lot of projects coming up and a lot of things that are just like coming down the pipe very quickly. We are, this is a secret, expanding through the wall within like the next month to 2 months. We have the permitting for that, so we're building out the space over there, and we'll have some more seating and a stage and some things like that. We'll expand our menu offerings, and that's going to present a whole lot of learning curve and extra expenses, and it's going to just change the flow of things. And I think that's probably the biggest obstacle and the biggest challenge that we're going to hit here soon. But it's going to be a fun one. And the thing that we need from the community is people do just show up and be really nice to us and buy things. Be a little forgiving along the way because it's going to take a minute to get a new flow down. There's a ton of plants in the shop, and it's definitely a group effort. My team and I, mostly my team, does all of the watering for the plants, and it is a process that took me probably 6 months of running the shop to figure out how to actually do it. And so we have a color-coded watering chart, and so there's a layout of the shop, and every single section is a different color. Every color has a day that's assigned to it, and we literally just have like, this is our Monday section, and we have to take everything over here, take it to the sink, water it, let it rinse a little bit, take it back to where it goes, and just, it's a lot of maintenance. But we get a plant order like probably about every 2-3 weeks or so, and then most of the plants don't stay here too long, so it's not a lot of like long-term care. It's that's a little more rotational, but there's some stuff that's been in here a while and requires a little bit more maintenance. It depends. Like right now things are a little full. We got an order last Saturday, and so it's a little busier in here than it can be once things slim out. So it can generally take about an hour, 2 hours or so, but it's just kind of like busy work throughout the day, and our mornings and end of the day is a little slower, so we end up with some time to give the plants a little extra love. So a lot of the shop's inventory, we get those things through different wholesale sites and stuff, of course, and a lot of different, we use nurseries up and down the West Coast. Everything is, if it's not local to here, it's from someone that's local to some other small town as a small business owner. And then we also work with a lot of artists and stuff in the community. So like we have like a lot of our jewelry and like macrame things and stuff like that are also from just different artists that live in and around Corvallis. Small business community is super important. I think for a long time there's, you hear the phrase community over competition, and I think it's a very like old way of thinking of this, like thinking about competition, and someone comes in and they're going to steal your business, but like you can't have an active and busy downtown community or customer basis or shopping district without everyone being successful. Like you're only as good as the shops around you. So for me, like we have a really good network of businesses here, of whether it's like Instagram group chats or even just like going and supporting each other's businesses. Everyone's very, very like very friendly and looking out for each other here, which is good, and it takes the community for everyone to be able to thrive and survive this. And you can definitely tell when people aren't invested in doing the events or participating in community activities and things like that, and they're not seeing the success that everyone is working together and trying to improve what downtown Corvallis looks like. I think the downtown Corvallis community is shaped greenhouse in such a way that's different than I expected it to. I didn't know who our clientele was like upon opening this. is not who I thought it was. And I also had no idea of what the general community of Corvallis was. I'd never lived in a college town. I didn't do the college experience. So everything here was a little bit of a mystery to me. And I had a lot of unknowns when it came to like what the community was going to want from Greenhouse. And so a lot of that has kind of shifted things, where my initial vision of this was not a sit-down place, grab and go, kind of get in, get your things, and get out, keep as much room for plants as possible, and pretty limited seating. And since then, we've added like seating and stuff outside, and it's the biggest request we get all the time is more seating. And so now taking this like next big venture to expand and have seating in a full other space, and we're like more than doubling our rent for every single month. But it's just because that demand is there, and the people have been asking for it and wanting it. And I very quickly realized that I love having customers that come in and sit at the bar and hang out for hours and just chat, and like it makes my day better. So now I'm kind of in a mindset of like, well, let's pay some more money and have extra seating and get more people in here and make it just a good, inclusive like hangout space for people to come and feel warm and welcome and safe, and just a good spot to be in town. For this expansion into the new space, what we are essentially looking at is we will be taking part of the walls down over there to expand into a full other space, almost doubling our footprint. We are planning to have some window bar seating, more for like kind of like solo laptop work. We will be doing another table for like plants and stuff like that, giving us a little more room for plants, because surprisingly, when you remove walls, you actually lose a little bit of your retail space. We'll have a full table and like bench situation with a couple like different two tops. We'll keep our pergola theme over there and having a pergola over those seats, with possibly some swing seating on a part of there, as well as adding a stage into the space. We want to host some events and some live music. We've got some things planned for even like projecting some things and having some like watch-alongs of The Bachelor and Love is Blind and things like that. And then that space will also have its own bathroom, and the theme is essentially kind of a cowboy princess pink pony club kind of vibe. Lots of pink and cow print and disco balls and just all kinds of stuff. Vendor rundown, POS, Square, credit card processing, Square. Website is all through Squarespace. Banking, we use KeyBank. Accounting and payroll is a combination of Square and Gusto.